Cause the terror's got your whole song board.
The pain helps. The pain makes the hunger go away.
What is going on, horror fanatics? Zomboy here, and you're watching another episode of Twisted Terrors. On this episode, grab your popcorn. We're going to be talking about 1993's Return of the Living Dead 3. This movie comes in an hour 37 minutes. It's rated R. It's directed by Brian Yuzna. IMDb has this one rated as a 5.9 out of 10. Letterboxd has this one rated as a 3.1 out of 5. The cast: J. Trevor Edmonds as Kurt, Melinda Clarke as Julie, Kent McCord as John, Kurt's dad, Basil Wallace as Riverman, and the four gang members from left to right: Mike Moroff as Santos, Pia Reyes as Alicia, Julian Urena as Mogo, and Sal Lopez as Philippe. I'll read the plot. Having recently witnessed a horrific result of a top-secret project to bring the dead back to life, a distraught teenager performs the operation on his girlfriend after she's killed in a motorcycle accident. So let's talk about the movie. This movie starts off, it's got a colonel. He's in a military base. They're talking about a project, walking down a hall with a gurney covering a body. When he gets to the door, he realizes he can't find his card to get in, so someone else has to open the door for him. Cuts to a bluff at a beach. You meet Julie and her boyfriend, Kurt. She's asking if he got it, and he pulls out Dad's missing key card.
Did you get it?
I said I would, didn't I?
I see.
How my dad look all over the house for it, but we just couldn't seem to find it.
And they decide to go to the military base to see what's going on because they knew there was a big project going on that night. They go to the military base. He goes inside, uses Dad's car to get in the building, and they ended up crawling up on the roof to watch through a little window. When they see a corpse inside and they're strapping it up to these ropes to stand it up, they release 2,4,5-trioxin gas onto the corpse, which reanimates it. And then you find out they're trying to design a weapon to subdue zombies. So this weapon, you shoot them in the head and it freezes their brain, which is supposed to make them immobile. So they end up shooting him, it freezes. Success, right? Well, at this point, Kurt and Julie, they need to leave because they don't want to get caught. So they leave. After they leave, they're taking this zombie body, putting it back on the cot. And before they strap it down, one of the guys working on it has the great idea to stick his fingers in the zombie's mouth.
Obstruction to mouth tissue, esophagus appears clear.
Bites his fingers off, gets up, starts smashing that guy's head on the wall while the guy's trying to load the freeze gun. Finally, they freeze it. They're strapping it back to the gurney with straps, and then of course the guy that got his fingers bit off wakes up. He's a zombie, starts attacking as well. Funny thing in this one, when they're bringing the zombie back to life with the trioxin, they've got him hooked up to monitors, and they know it works, the trioxin, when the monitors say he has a heartbeat. In all of the other movies, you get bit, you don't have a heartbeat. You're room temperature, you don't have any reflexes. So with this one, for some reason, when they reanimate your corpse, you have a heartbeat again. Julie is obsessed with this project. That's all she talks about. Kurt's getting upset, but she thought it was absolutely amazing. Kurt's dad comes home, and he's upset because he is head of the project that just pretty much failed, and he lets his son know that, hey, I'm being shipped out in a week. We're going to another state. That's all I have to say. Kurt tells him, I'm not going. So Kurt packs a bag. Him and Julie hop on the motorcycle and ride away. Julie's super excited because she wants to run away with Kurt. Of course, she keeps on kissing him while he's riding the motorcycle, which causes a motorcycle accident, and Julie dies.
Damn it, talk to me! Help us! Somebody help us!
So Kurt's brilliant idea is he pulls a weekend at Bernie's and he puts Julie's dead body on the back of his motorcycle, and what's he do? He rides to the military base. Because he still has got Dad's key card. Opens up the door, brings Julie inside, gets on a biohazard suit, goes inside, and doesn't know how to use the machinery, so he just breaks the top off of the 245 trioxin tank. The gas comes out, goes all over Julie, and of course she starts twitching. He takes her out of the room, and she wakes up, and she says, "That was great, let's do it again." And then in the background you see the lid on the tank of trioxin start to move, and they hear a big bang and they turn around, the tank's on its side, the lid is off, and there's nothing in the tank. And we all know that those tanks have zombies inside. Zombie starts going after them. A security guard sees them and points a gun at them, and then he gets bit by a zombie. Kurt and Julie, they get on his motorcycle and they ride off. Meantime, at the military base, they're pulling up CCTV footage, and right away the colonel notices his son was there, and they all see what he did. And they explain that because she just died and she's got such a good bond with Kurt, she's not going to be a threat until her brain starts to die. Julie finds out she died. She's freaking out a bit, which I don't blame her. She's complaining about being hungry, and so he takes her to a gas station store. She goes inside and just starts taking a bite of everything.
You don't need all this.
Leave me alone. I don't know what I want.
Well, when are you gonna know?
I don't know. When I taste it.
The fuck is wrong with her?
Don't worry about it.
Don't you ever feed her, ese?
He bumps one of them and they get upset. And she's biting everything and spitting it out because it's not what she wants. The store owner comes up and Kurt gives him a bunch of money to pay for all the stuff that she's ruined. One of the gang members, since he's over there, he sneaks behind the counter and starts pulling all the money out of the register. Store owner pulls out a gun and points it at him. There's an altercation between them, and then Santos, the head of the gang, turns the gun on the guy, shoots him in the stomach. They grab the cash, they leave. On the way out, Mogo, one of the gang members, Julie bites him in the arm. On their way out, they shoot Kurt's motorcycle a bunch of times. Kurt and Julie end up running out, and they get in the store owner's van, and then the store owner follows them out and asks if they could take him to the hospital, please. So he gets in the back of the van, and the cops show up, and of course he doesn't want to get caught, so he ends up running away, and the cops are chasing him. The cops are just shooting at the back of the van. And at one point, the store owner opens one of the doors and the cop shoots him right in the head. So Julie goes back there. Kurt finally loses the police, and he gets out and he hears this noise, and he looks back there, and Julie has eaten the entire top of the guy's head off and is eating his brains. Very sad. So Julie and Kurt jump out of the van, and they end up going down into the sewer, because it's the only way out. And the police finally find the van, and when they open the back of the van, the store owner, Zombie, jumps out with his half head and bites one of the cops. And of course, right as this has happened, the military catches up and they start doing a contain and clean. So they start containing the area and cleaning it up. Kurt and Julie are in the sewers. She finds out if she causes pain on herself, the hunger goes away. And at this point, she's got like this spring and she's piercing her skin with it, and she says, the pain helps the hunger go away. Her and Kurt end up getting a fight about that. He basically says that she disgusts him and he liked her the way she used to be, so she runs off. And he goes looking for her because he was an idiot and said some things he didn't mean, and finds her on top of a bridge. So he goes up there and tries to talk her down, and she jumps. So now he's got to walk all the way back down to the concrete, and there's like a creek down there running into the sewer, and she's nowhere to be found. And he meets Riverman. He's a homeless guy that lives in the sewers that watched the whole thing. And he's a talker.
They were floating along just as nice as you wanna. Then they round the corner, and she rose up like a big old black viper and pulled them under, just like that. Swallowed them whole. Never found one of them.
They finally find Julie's body. Riverman's telling him, oh man, she's as dead as it gets. And of course, Kurt says, you don't understand, she can't die. And of course, she wakes up and Riverman is blown away. At this point, the gang pulls up at the end of the culvert in their car, pissed because Mogo is getting super sick and they want revenge. And somehow they knew right where they were gonna be. And so Riverman takes him deep into the sewers. Ends up taking him all the way to where he lives in an old pump room, shuts the door. The door doesn't have a handle. He's got a special tool to open it, hooks up some car batteries, which turns on all the light. Kurt tells Riverman he really appreciates all his help and that he didn't have to do that he doesn't know how to repay him. And Riverman reaches into a pocket, pulls out a gold coin and hands it to Kurt. And Kurt's like, what is this? He's like, it's my gold coin. When you help somebody, give this coin to them and tell them to do the same thing. And as long as this coin is circulating, there's always going to be someone out there helping someone doing good. And then Riverman offers to go sit outside the door to keep an eye on things. Julie's getting hungry again. Her and Kurt start arguing again, and she breaks some glass, and Kurt doesn't know it, but she starts shoving this giant shard of glass through her hand, which makes her feel better. She starts apologizing to Kurt and said that her mind's just not working right and that she's really sorry. Kurt falls asleep. Julie starts some body modifications. She's cutting herself. She's piercing herself. She's putting nails through her skin, piercing her face, putting giant metal spikes through her hand. All this while he's sleeping. And then Riverman is standing guard and the gang shows up and they start beating him. He's not telling them anything they want to know. And Kurt finally goes and opens the door and there's the gang. He shuts the door and he goes out there and now the gang starts attacking him. They're telling him, you need to call your girl right now. And he's refusing. The guy that's been bit, Mogo, is not looking good. And the girl says, I think he's dying. And next thing you know, they're holding the gun to Kurt's face and the door opens and you get the first sight of Julie in her, I guess you would call it like Hot Topic meets Cenobite. That's what I think it looks like. I mean, it looks cool, don't get me wrong. It took over 100 prosthetics to get her looking the way she did. And I think it was over 10 hours when they first started of makeup work, which as they got better at it, took 6 hours to do. And Santos gets a knife, goes up to her, and first thing he says is basically he's gonna take her in her room because he's turned on by that and have some relations with her. And so he takes her back into Riverman's house and shuts the door. I mean, she's a mess. And this is what Santos says. Oh my gosh. And of course, they hear Santos screaming and the door opens back up and she's got Santos' head attached to his spine in her hand, which is pretty cool looking. So the guy that bit died. She ends up killing one of the other gang members. And then I think the last gang member, she's trying to crawl up a ladder and one of the Mogo guy, he gets up and ends up killing her. So you've got Kurt, Julie, and Riverman. They start barricading the door from the inside because now everyone's turned into zombies out there. And Julie's saying that the pain's not working anymore. Riverman's been shot. Kurt asked Riverman if there's another way out. And he said there's a ladder in the back through the back door that goes up to the surface. Riverman offers to stay, come up after them. And Kurt says, no, you've been shot. You need to take her because I can run faster. So you guys go up and then I'll run. So they do. And he's trying to fight off the zombies. They end up ripping the door off the hinges, start breaking through the wood. And so finally he has to make a run for it. And he goes back there, opens the door and shuts it. And he hears a noise and he looks. Julie is eating Riverman. After all this, Riverman's done for them. Julie's eating him. Julie stands up and she is full zombie now. And so she's going at Kurt, and Kurt's dad shows up with the military, and they're freezing all the zombies, and they freeze Julie as well. So it cuts to the military base, and Kurt's asking what's going to happen to Julie. Kurt's dad tells him, well, she's in the project now. He just starts walking around the base and finds Julie in a cage, and then she sees Riverman, and they're putting him in this big exosuit. So the military is weaponizing these zombies by putting them in these exosuits that basically, even if their limbs get blown off, can still keep going. So he has a change of heart. He punches one of the military guys in the face. He lets Julie out. When the people working on Riverman see what's going on, they come out, and Riverman ends up escaping and starts running havoc. Riverman ends up getting shot with a shotgun a bunch of times. I mean, his limbs are getting blown off, but because he's in this exosuit, he can keep on moving. So the whole building goes on lockdown. Kurt's trying to get out with Julie. They're stuck in this room, and Riverman starts going after Kurt, and Kurt holds up his gold coin. And he says, do you remember this? Do you remember this gold coin? And he hands it to him and goes, I need help. I need you to open this door. And because I guess he's in this exosuit, he's really strong. So he pries the door open, lets them out, and shuts it. Kurt gets bit by a zombie right in the arm. And the last scene is Kurt and Julie. They go into the crematory room and agree to crawl in the crematory and burn themselves up. And that is the end of the movie. So hopefully there's a good filtration system on this crematory, because we know what happens when you burn these things. That seems like how this movie ends almost every time, is a burning. I like this movie. This one has a total different vibe to it. The other ones are a lot more horror comedy. This one goes a lot more towards the dark horror, body modifications, body horror. It's still a good movie, a lot less comedy. Actually, I don't think there's much comedy in this one at all. I do enjoy it for the most part. The acting is decent. The special effects are fantastic. I like the music. The zombies are awesome. I like the exosuits. A lot of the visual stuff in this movie is really well done. You know, there's some goofy stuff, like this is a top secret military base doing research on weaponizing zombies. He's able to just drive his motorcycle right on and no questions asked, scan in with his dad's cards, no questions asked. He just casually rides into a secret military installation like it's a skate park. No clearance, no ID. It's kind of silly. It's a good movie. I like Riverman. The Riverman character is crazy. He's totally out there, but it's not for everyone. I used to say I like the first one, the third one, then the second one, but now that I'm watching them all again, I like the second one. I think this one falls just under the second one for me. Even though I think this one's rated higher. I think the IMDb and Letterboxd has this one rated higher. So people like this one, and I did enjoy it. I didn't see Tarman in this one. Lots of zombies in canisters, but I didn't see the Tarman. Highly recommend this movie. You know, if you're a zombie completionist, you gotta watch these movies. I mean, from this point, I would say they get pretty bad. I'm gonna keep going with these. I will say the first three are pretty good, and then they get pretty ridiculous. So I'm gonna rewatch them though. It's been a while since I've seen the last two. I think there's Necropolis and Rave to the Grave. It's been a while since I've seen those, so I'm gonna check those out, and I'll let you know what I think about those. This is Zomboy. I appreciate watching Twisted Terrors. I will see you on the next one, but put the comments down below. What did you think of this one? Have you seen the first, second, and third? You should put in the comments which ones are your favorite in order. You can do all of them if you want. I'd like to see everybody's, but I appreciate watching the video. I'll see you on the next one. Zomboy signing out.